Hello and welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be discussing Invest Engine's ISA, which is a stocks and shares ISA. But they don't actually have individual stocks on here, it's more ETFs. So let's go through it. So enjoy tax-free ISA investing. An ISA is a way to invest up to £20,000 a year for your future and pay absolutely no tax on your returns. So if you invest in ETFs and then they go up, you can take them out at any time and you don't pay tax on it. So it's really tax efficient. So I like that. Let's go down. So there's no setup fees. It was quite easy to open an account when I did it. There's no withdrawal fees, no dealing fees and no ISA fees. There are ETF fees though. You can transfer your ISA from different providers. Here's how it's rated by the experts. There's some other reviews here on YouTube. So why choose an Invest Engine ISA? Zero ISA account fees. Like I say, it's not quite zero because the ETFs, some of them start at 0.07%. I think the highest one I've got is up to 0.30%. But they're saying that the site doesn't charge you a fee. That's what they're saying, where it says account fees, where some of the other sites do charge, which I'll show you the comparison a little bit later. The opportunity for higher returns. With Invest Engine, you have a stocks and shares ISA, giving you the opportunity to earn higher returns than from a cash ISA. So I think the cash ISA I have at the moment is in Trading 212. I think it's like 4 something percent. So this site doesn't actually offer you a cash ISA. We're just looking at the ETF ISA here, which is why I have mine in Trading 212. It's saying it's easy to automate investing. So for example, I have 4 portfolios. If you want to go and have a look at them, have a look at my other videos. I have a dividend focused ETF or various ETFs in my portfolio. And I have a diversified one and a simple one. I also have growth ETF portfolio, diversified and a simple one. So, and I set up direct debits for each of them. So if you want to go and have a look at my other videos. It says you can transfer to investing for free. Yeah, and it's flexible. So like I said, you can take it out when you want, which is great. If if you had an emergency and you needed some money, then it's great to take it out. Well, you can't do that on your SIP. Right. So here is the comparison compared to the other sites. Excuse me. Right. So they're saying they're free, but like I say, there are you do get charged for the ETFs. Whereas the other sites they'll charge you for different things. So but it is cheaper on this one. So for example, I hold a lot of Vanguard ETFs. And it's cheaper to hold them on Invest Engine than it is Vanguard. So, and I do mine as a do-it-yourself, so I pick my own ETFs. But you can choose a life plan. So if you choose a life plan, they'll charge you 0.25% for the account charge, and the cost of like the ETFs is 0.12, but it is reasonable compared to the others. And then they also do a managed, and you can see the fees here are 0.25 and the cost of the fund is 0.12. But I do it yourself, so because it's cheaper. I know what I want to choose. But obviously you can choose any of these. And there's about some reviews. Okay, So I'm just going to explain why I use the ISA. So I have my work pension. I also have a SIP pension with Invest Engine. Now the SIP is really good. So if I invest £100, the government will top that up by £25. Plus I'll get my returns on whatever ETFs I have for the year. So say 10, between 10 and 20%, say. So that's really good, but you can't take it out until retirement age. So and also when you take that out of the whole pot, 25% you can take out tax free, but the rest will be taxed like income, like a job. So you will pay tax on anything over, 12,000 odd. So the ISA, where you don't get the help from the government, what you do get is to be able to take it out when you want, so you don't have to wait till retirement, and you don't pay tax on it, which I think is brilliant. I think it's a brilliant way to top up the pension, because my work pension, I pay in 4%, the company pays in 3%, and I get the 1% back from the government. So that's 8%, which is good. And I have that invested in the people's pension, which on average does about 17% a year. So I'm not knocking the work pension because it doubles. So I put 4% in, they put 3 in, the government put 1. So that's 4 and 4. So that's double before it goes in. And I've taken it off the default and put it on a more equity based. So I get 7% on that, which is great, but I don't think 8% is enough to be saving for retirement. And I think the figures show, I think it's either 74 or 75% of UK people don't have enough in their retirement pot for when they come to retire. And I think it's because of the fees. The fees, I think, are on average 0.50% to 1% for what the pension provider charge you. And the returns are like 7%. But when you take inflation off that, so if we said 2, that would be 5%. So a 5% return, if you're in the default, which a lot of people are, a lot of people don't even sign into their pension and have a look. But you can sign in and choose different things to invest in, obviously based on your risk profile. So the pension is good, and I've tried to max my returns on it, but I would rather put more percentage in. Like, for example, I think it's Australia, they put in about double what we do, which I think is better and probably more what the UK need to be doing. And I think on the 15th of July, the government are reviewing the pensions, which is a good thing. So what they're planning, I think 22 is the starting age that companies have to put young people into the pension. I think they're looking at reducing that. There's also the minimum tax bands that companies can pay in, I think is from 6,000 up to 52. Well, they're looking at reducing that to the bands to start from 0, which is good. That means the companies will be paying more into your pension. So there might be some good news coming on the 15th of July, and I will do an update on that. But you can have a look on the internet for the news articles on that. So that's that. They're hinting at that's what they're going to propose, which is a really good thing, because I really don't think the pensions are adequate. And it's, if people don't think about it and they're just in the default fund and they think they're fine because they've got the government pension and their work pension, and they assume that that's enough because that's what they've been told to do. But if we're only putting half as much as we should do in there, then this is why I think by topping up one with the SIP and one with the ISA is a really good idea until they make some changes, so you don't have to worry. So investing for the future, I think, is very important. So this is why I'm investing in the ISA and in the SIP. And the ISA is more for me if I want to take retirement earlier than my work pension. I can start taking out of the ISA and I won't pay any tax on it, which is, I think that's brilliant. So that's a quick overview. If you have enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. I do have playlists on my channel if you want to look at any of the portfolios. And if you are interested in investing, you're going to have a look on their site. You can look at the investments. You don't have to sign up. You can just go on there and click on investments, and you can have a look round. Also, there's a link to, if you want to join up, you can get between 20 and £100 in cash to invest in ISAs. The link is below. There are terms and conditions on that, but again, you don't have to. You can just go on the site and have a look. So you just click on investments, and you can browse and just have a look around just to get used to the site. So that's the reason why I'm using an ISA on Invest Engine. Thank you.